I have found that I'm an information sponge, sometimes to a detrimental extent. On the daily, I consume hours and hours of news, creator economy updates, and a range of topics to help keep me informed about the world. Now, this obviously sounds lovely, and it's great. I feel like I know what's going on around me, why things are happening, but the more time you spend trying to consume, the less time you spend outputting. One of the perfect balances, I think, that exists if you're talking about just efficiency and learning and once again output, and by that I mean maybe it's producing content, maybe it's working a job. It's just releasing all of the information, thoughts, ideas, and inspiration that you have had gathered up inside of you. And the most efficient way of this is probably streamers. People like Hassan who input political information, what's going in the world right now, what's the news updates, and then how does that combine with information that you already know, trends that you already know are happening around the world, and then directly putting that out there simultaneously, not having them in two completely different stages. Additionally, I found it when I was posting daily a couple of weeks ago, it was very easy to output stuff there because I would learn something in the morning, I'd go for a walk, I'd contemplate the topic, what are different angles and ideas about this that weren't necessarily discussed, and then directly upload that. And then it kind of dropped off for a minute over Christmas and I'm trying to build it back up again. And it felt like I had this now backlog of ideas that I just need to get out there, but I was spending too much time, once again, just absorbing intel. When you work for yourself like I do, it is really hard to force yourself to show up. Because at least when you have school or a 9 to 5, you have to be there on a certain day at a certain time. So it doesn't matter if you're tired, if you don't want to be there, you're going to at least show up. It may be a half-assed day, but you're going to be there. There are also external deadlines that are put on you where you have to achieve stuff by a certain date. There is the common thing that things will take as long as you give them. That if you say, I have to do the washing this day, it's going to take the whole day to do the washing. But if you say, I have an hour to do it, you're going to find a way to do it in the next, maybe an hour is a bit short, but you get my point. I just want to jump in here and say that if you're enjoying this right now, please check out my Instagram where I continue to discuss more topics like this and you can keep up with the day-to-day of what it's like to build a channel. So, on to the rest of the video. I also noticed as well that today is lovely and sunny. I'm going to run out straight after this to enjoy some of this because it is so rare and far and few between in this country. But it was so much easier to have habits and routines when there was the availability to go outside. Cool, you want to keep fit? You can go for a run. You can go to the gym. You can go play sport. You can go hang out with your friends in the park. It is easy to keep up these habits and routines, but when all of a sudden the sun sets at pretty much 3:30 in the afternoon, it is cloudy and downpouring all day, you can't just go outside and go for a run when it's 0 degrees. And you can, but it'd be pretty miserable. When you want to hang out with your friends, pretty much the only way to do that is the pub or a restaurant that I can't really afford. I got a Shake Shack drink yesterday that was absolutely lovely because I was hanging out with a friend from Sydney. But the price of that drink was half a week's worth of groceries, which is just, what? And when you are just trapped inside day after day without these routines and habits and regularly doing those things, it becomes ever easier just to be in input mode and not actually be productive and outputting any of the stuff that you've been absorbing for the days, weeks, or months on end. Because it feels like there's no energy around you that the sun, I didn't even realize how much it brought, just waking up and seeing light. But despite this, I think sometimes we have to still remember that we are doing a lot, that we see the day-to-day unproductivity gaps in time, that we are not doing things. But from the outside, they just see the big chapter points, and those can still count and add up to a lot. And if you look back on the year past, you will realize that actually I did more than I realized. I'll scroll through my camera roll and be like, oh, I forgot this amazing thing happened. I think as well, if you have something like a 9 to 5, it's easier to clock in and clock out. You finish the assignment, you're done. But in an industry like freelance or content creation, there is no end. You can always work more. You can always do more. There is no weekend or night off. So I think sometimes it's good to try and enforce that. I mean, my most productive time was during COVID. Because it's I woke up at 5, I read from 5 to 5:30, then I went out and exercised from 5:30 to 7, just cycled around so you could get some fresh air, you could listen to a podcast, have some good times. Then you'd shower, have breakfast, then I'd do some schoolwork from maybe 8 till 1. I'd finish schoolwork at 1, then you would hang out, maybe exercise some more, go play basketball, and just work on your own projects. But there was clear clock in, clock out tasks get done, boom, you're free for the rest of the day. And I kind of miss that. In line with this, I've seen content creators talk about, you only work a couple hours a week, produce the odd video and you're good. But that's fine when your car is already moving forward, but to jumpstart that thing in the first place, especially when you don't know how long it will take to jumpstart, can be the hardest, most gut-wrenching thing in the world, because you have to push with all your might for an undisclosed period of time. That you can't get away with just posting the odd thing, doing the odd thing here and there, like some of the big creators can. Because they have a guaranteed audience that will clock in anytime that they post something, and as long as it's half decent and shows personality, they'll enjoy it. But most of us don't have that luxury yet. You have to prove yourself every single day and with every single person that you meet. So what is the balance of this input and output? I think probably the easiest way to enforce that is just to be able to maintain some of those deadlines. So you're forced to output no matter what, and then whatever spare time remains is the guilt-free input. That if I have to post a video pretty much every single day, well, I'm going to post a video pretty much every single day, and then whatever time remains after that fact is where I can learn, obtain more knowledge to then be able to share with you. Additionally, combining things, knowing that, okay, when I go for a cycle, when I go for a run, that is the time I can listen to a podcast and learn, or just listen to nothing and just ponder the ideas for, upcoming projects. And I think from this, I and hopefully some of you will be able to wield far better results and have a far better balance of making sure we're aware of what's happening in this world while also still being productive members of society in the least capitalistic sense, but in a sense of having fun, delivering value to the people around you, and just living a good life overall. What is with this light? Oh my God. But on that note, if you want to hear more about all the topics that I am discussing on this now very, very regular basis, please check out this playlist here. You won't regret it.